People say, oh, Jesus says to love everybody. But what people don't understand is there's degrees of love. So should I love you, in respect to, say, like the same amount of love as I love my own son? Should I favour you over my own son? And I know it sounds harsh. I do like you, and so therefore, it's people have a sense of fairness, righteousness, and true equity. And true equity is about balanced scales and fairness. And when we see someone, say, coming into our country, the loving thing would be to do to them is like, okay, have you fled war? Yeah, we've come from other war-torn countries. Okay, we'll do what we can to help you. But if that means that love is greater than the people that are in this country, that have paid into this country, that are indigenous to this country, I don't think that's fairness. I don't think that's true equity. I don't think that's righteous, and I don't actually think that's loving.
So this would be the argument with, for example, with transgenderism as an ideology.
Yeah.
Out of love, I don't want someone mutilating their genitals and later regretting it, cutting off their ability to have children. So, again, out of a place of love, I would preach against that. But the Church of England is actually saying the opposite, and they're now even allowing transgenders as priests, even women as priests, which the Bible preaches against.
Yeah.
So it seems they're going against their own ideology because, as you call it, they've been neutered, right?
Yeah. The trouble is, Church of England has got confused with two words: nice and love. Love will tell you stuff you don't want to hear. Nice is when we don't tell people stuff they need to hear because it might offend them. And that's the problem with Christianity today. It's become nice, but there's nothing in the Bible that says be nice. It says be loving. And as it says in Proverbs, an open rebuke is better than love concealed. Sometimes it's better to say, no disrespect, but you've got some real issues there. We can help you. But what we're not going to do is play nice and pretend that you're a woman or pretend that you're something else just to keep you happy. We all have to go along with it, because that's a lie. That's not truth, and that's not testimony to the word of God or to anything. And that's not loving. That's not kind. It might be nice, but it's not loving and kind.
And then final question I would have for you. So we talked a minute ago about the 15 Crusades and them not being justified after the first one, which was a reaction to the plague of Islam spreading across the Middle East, right? But with the Crusades, I do understand that they did kill non-Christians, which would be the same kind of thing that Islam has done, and we've accused Islam of doing. So would that be something that those who believe in the Crusades condemn? Is that the kind of thing they would call for if we were to have another Crusades? What do you believe?
So the thing is, the reason why the Crusades started was basically because churches in the Middle East were being ransacked by Islam. Islam at that time was very much a colonizing religion. It just moved in, it took over an area, colonized it. You had to speak Arabic, you had to read Arabic, and so on and so forth. And what they were doing to Christians, they were either making them slaves, they were either killing them, or they put them under what they call a jizya, which they have to pay a tax. And all our sacred sites were being wrecked and destroyed. Now modern day Christians are like, there's no such thing as a sacred site, but that's just more about their wonky theology than what actually the Bible teaches. And so then one of the emperors called for help to the Western Church, saying we need help, because if we don't get help, the church here in the East is going to be gone. And so that was the reason why the Crusades took place. It was actually to defend. It wasn't just to go in and butcher and murder. But
would you justify the killing of those who just didn't believe?
Well, it's not about that, is it? I mean, so for example, if we look at so there is a case for a just war. And we look at, for example, the Second World War. There were people in the German army that were. Some of them were Christians, some of them were not. But we did what we did because we had to defend our country, we had to defend our sovereignty and our territory. And so that's a similar sort of thing that was going on in the Middle East. If you just changed the sticker from Nazi to Islam, and they were doing the same sort of terrible things, that's why we had to answer that and defend ourselves. So at the end of the day, I appreciate people who are unbelievers were being killed, but it was for the sake of protecting. That's what we were there for. We were an army to protect Christians and protect people from being killed and butchered and slaved and so on and so forth. And the things that they were doing, if you read some of the historical accounts of the Crusades, it was awful. I mean, both on our side, the things that they had to endure, and on the Muslim side, but also the things that they were doing to our male soldiers when they caught them. I'm not even going to say it on camera, just absolutely awful. I'm not saying that to inspire hatred, but that was the nature of the hour. And we look at things through our nice westernized, timid society that we now live in. It's like, oh, that seems so cruel and callous. But it's like, I guess it came down to it's either them or you.